Jeff Rolick here at the Little Falls High School tonight, and we're interviewing that great trumpet player, Maynard Ferguson. And Maynard, it was really a great concert tonight. I enjoyed it, and I think everybody here did too.
Thank you very much. You were a very nice audience. Yeah, it was very exciting to go over that well and to see the people react that well. You know.
Right. Now, tell me something about your latest tour. Now, you're touring all over the world. Can you tell me something about this?
Well, yes, we just finished a tour of Italy before we I went into London and did our new Columbia album, the MF Horn 3, because we do most of our recording from London. And then we began our American tour on February the 10th, and it started up in the New York area and went down into Texas and all the way across to California, and we played Hollywood and San Francisco and straight up the West Coast all the way to Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, of course. And so this is the first tour with the international band that I now have, where we've toured almost the entire country.
Now, your trumpet style is rather unique. Could you tell me something about it?
Well, when we talk about uniqueness, I guess it is that one of the sayings of the young, which is so great right now, is do your own thing.
Right.
And that seems to be one thing that I was blessed with when I was young, because instead of having one idol, I had, like 100 of them. And so I never patterned myself after any one particular trumpet player, and I didn't do it consciously. It just more or less happened that way, you know. And as a result of that, though, it gives a guy a better chance to have a thing of his own than if he tends to bow to the east, according to who that person is, you know, because then, of course, he can only copy exactly what that person's doing, you know.
Right. You got your biggest start. I mean, you started long before, but you really became famous with Stan Kenton, right?
Right. I'd I left Canada in 1949 and went to the United States and joined the Kenton Orchestra in 1950, and I was with him for about 3.5 years.
How was he like to work for?
Oh, that was a great experience for me then, and it, as you say, it was responsible for bringing me an international reputation as a soloist, and later on led to my having my own band, of course.
Let's talk about the big band era for a second. What did happen to it?
Well, of course, I came in on the end of the big band era. I wasn't here when it was at its height, and but I think that it just has to do with the cycle. The cycle's coming around again now, because we see the successes that we're having now, and they're in high schools and colleges. And whereas, especially in high schools, say 5 years ago, or it was almost unheard of. Certainly 10 years ago it was. And the thing is that the young people of America are really getting interested in instrumental music on a lot of different levels, and rather sophisticated ones now too, but yet they still do their own. Just like we're very heavy into the rock thing, and we do that by choice, not by trend, and we do it in the way that turns us on, so to speak. And I think that that's where all the meeting of all the great music is starting to come together, as far as the music that has the jazz feeling to it, you know, whether it's the blues or whether it's the bebop or the freedom thing or the anything you want to name. It's the swing thing, and yet it's also freedom when it feels right. Because that's all instrumental music is a mystic art where you communicate without words, and the listener doesn't try to understand or pick it apart. He's silly to waste his time doing that. He's better off to sit back and discover whether he will enjoy it or not. You know?
Right. What's your opinion of some of the great trumpet players like Doc Severinsen, for instance?
Well, Doc's an old friend of mine. We played on Charlie Barnett's band together in 1949, and he's a very fine trumpet player, nice guy too.
Yeah. Have any other favorites?
Well, I tell you what, there's so many that we'd go on endlessly, but I'd have to mention, of course, the Dizzy Gillespies and the Miles Davises and the, but there's the Freddie Hubbards and the, so many. I really hate naming them, actually, because I know I'll leave out at least 10 of my very, very favorites, you know.
Now, tell us about Horn 3, the new album.
Well, Horn 3 has just been completed, and it'll be out the second week in June, I believe. And we're very excited about that. We think if we play, yeah, we played a couple of things, I believe, tonight from it, and it introduces Pete Jackson as a composer and arranger, even though he's been my pianist for about 5 years now. And he's from the north of England, a very talented composer and arranger as well as pianist, and he does 2 or 3 originals on it, and he also wrote the love theme from the Valachi papers, and which always gets a laugh because most people think I'm kidding, whereas there really is a love theme in the picture, the Valachi paper. Very beautiful arrangement, too.
Now, of course, let me ask you something about the musicians. Why do all the musicians wear bumblebee shirts? They look like bumblebee shirts to me. I mean,
Bumblebee shirts. Well, I tell you what, actually, those are made in Paris, and they're it's like a very current style. Remember that we're predominantly a European band now, in the sense that the men come from the United States, but they also come from Canada, and they also come from England and Australia, New Zealand, you know, and they're from all over. And these are just some things that we picked up at Saint Laurent's, and he's a very famous French clothier, and we just happen to like them because they seem to work. They feel comfortable, and the day of the 3-button jacket blazer with the big MF on the front, you know, I think that's kind of a thing of the past, you know.
he looks slick in this red and white checkered outfit.
Thank you.
Very good. Well, thanks very much for talking to us on WLFH.
Well, pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
Right. Could you cut a promo for our station? This is Maynard Ferguson, and you're listening to WLFH.
WLFH. This is Maynard Ferguson, and this is Maynard Ferguson, and you're listening to WLFH. Wait a minute. I can never. WLFH. Hi, this is Maynard Ferguson. You're listening to WLFH.
Oh, okay. You want to sing that? What's it? Can you sign this here?
Yeah.